This video will guide you through the main steps of the construction of the purchase request and its sub-processes. We strongly recommend that you watch the vacation request and travel request construction videos before watching this. Because this process has an advanced and more complex structure, we recommend a previous introduction to our suite. Advanced users work in their processes through the advanced view called Modules. Click on the button on the left to change between views. Purchase request has three sub-processes: quotations, purchase orders, and invoice payment. From the Modules view, users can create new applications and name them. In this case, the application Purchases contains the mentioned processes. To review the diagram of the process, click on Checkout. In the request, an applicant selects products. These will be approved or rejected by the boss. When approved, the case opens the first sub-process, Quotations. Suppliers are contacted to send their quotations for the requested products, and one is selected. The case enters the second sub-process, Purchase Orders. Here, the order is created, then generated in the ERP of the company and sent via email to the selected supplier. We will now describe the main entities of the data model. The process entity is Purchase Request. It has all the attributes and relationships for each request. The first related entity contains the products requested. These are related by a single multiple relationship. Products have a product type, like office supplies, as well as a product name. Each request has an authority level required for the approval. All the approval stages and observations are stored in the purchase approval. The purchase department will ask for several quotations. This is also a single multiple relationship. Every quotation received will have several quoted products. Each quotation belongs to a supplier. Then, the company generates a purchase order for the supplier in order to buy the products. This is the data model of the purchase request process. Now we are ready to build the forms. Click on the activity and select the Forms icon. Purchase Request and Quotations are built from the process entity Purchase Request. Attributes are dragged and dropped from that entity in the data binding box, in this case, the Requested Products grid. On the Properties box, select how the grid must look. Choose among other things the display, edit, and add forms, and if records can be deleted. Grid validations can be created from the Forms modeler. This one uses a row count to verify that there is at least one product included. If not, as the user clicks Next, a message will be displayed. When the same information is displayed in several forms throughout the process, it is very useful to create a single form and reuse it. Create the form in the entity where the attributes are and make it reusable. Then drag and drop it in the main form. All the forms in the process use nested forms. The first activity uses two, all created in the purchase request entity. In the purchase order process, the process entity changes to quotations, since the order is based on the one selected. This is called a change of context. Now the attributes in the form are dragged and dropped from quotations. This process also uses nested forms. The attributes context entity is quotations. All the activities have a new tab on the top. This tab, called Request Information, contains the information previously entered. The next step is to configure events in each activity, to execute actions on Enter, on Save, and on Exit. They can be rules, policies, emails, or interfaces. This process has a policy which sets the authority level required for approval. According to the total amount of the purchase, a level is selected. Emails can be configured in events. Here, these are sent according to the boss's decision, for approval, rejection, or changes. Emails contain information of the case and are sent to any desired address. A second policy rule is executed in the quotations process. According to the total amount of the purchase, a fixed number of quotations should be solicited. The last policy is executed in the purchase order process. The amount will determine if the order will or will not require approval from the administrative manager. All business policies can be managed through the web application. Go to the process where the policy is. Change the desired values by double-clicking on them. Click on Save to save the changes. Configure performers for manual tasks, user tasks and events. In these processes, performers are chosen according to roles or positions. Finally, configure integration. In purchase order, there is an interface. This generates the order in the ERP. This is created using the Interfaces Assistant with 4 steps: the web service URL, input and output parameters, and error handling. When an error is received, it is handled through a manual task. We are now ready to execute our project in the web. Feel free to go through the process in the web application to actually see what we created.
This process is related to the accounts payable process. In it, an invoice is received as a result of the purchase order approval and execution. If you want to continue with the accounts payable process, please download it from our free Process Central. Thank you for your interest in Bizagi, the solution preferred by BPM experts.